Welcome to the third podcast for Alive to Roar. Used to be Roaring Like Lions, but now that I've got a podcast on Anchor FM and Spotify, I'm going to change it all to Alive to Roar and make it simpler for you, my audience. Today we have Laura White with us, and I am Linda Kirkpatrick, LS Kirkpatrick, as most of you know me. And this podcast is about adding value into you, offering guidance in your writing, your entrepreneurship, and your life. Got my fan going here, so everything's blowing. No air conditioning today. So welcome to you, my new listeners, and to you, my dedicated listeners who have joined this audience from Roaring Like Lions Live. We're now here on Alive to Roar, and I want you to remember that you are valuable, you are worthy, you are enough, and you never run out of value. That's the most exciting part. So the more you give value into others, the more value you receive into yourself. And Laura is just full of value too. And I'm excited to have her here today. So Laura, why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Sure, I'll be glad to. So I live in Tampa, Florida. I've been married for 36 years and I have a daughter that's just turned 32. I can't believe it. And so I grew up in a family of 9. So a lot of my story has to do with the whole story about the behind the scenes of what happened growing up and how I am, why I am today. So I am a life and business strategist coach. And so I help entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants grow and scale their business organically using social media, not ads, and doing it with simple, easy strategies. And one thing that I want to share with you, Linda, is that in your audience is that I struggled for years trying to figure out this entrepreneurship and how are people making the money they're making and how are they getting the clients every week. And so I struggled for years trying to figure it all out. I spent thousands and thousands. You don't even want to know how much I could have bought 2 cars with the money I spent in what I did to learn how to do it, getting coaches and courses. But it's so funny because every time I get a course, I'm like, this is the magic wand, but no, it wasn't. So now I love, my passion is to help others not struggle like I did and help them say, this is good, this is not good. But then incorporating in all that, your personality, behavior, figuring out your why, your what, and your how, and all together it molds of who you are, how you're wired, and what works for you as an entrepreneur. And then the simple strategies and systems that works to help you grow your business faster than going around circles like I did for years. So that's a little bit about me.
That's pretty awesome because a lot of us, whether we're writers or entrepreneurs starting, small business, whatever you want to call it, it is our personality that's going into us because we feel that we have this purpose, this story, whatever it is that we need to get out of us and get into the world or to share with others like you've done. You've gone through the struggles, you've done all of that, and you want to share it with everybody else so they don't have to struggle. Because there's enough struggles without this particular part of it, and there are struggles every day. And that's what makes us so wonderful because every day we conquer a struggle. Every day we get better and we think, I haven't done anything. I don't do anything. I've never accomplished anything. It's like, you're alive today. You have accomplished a lot over the years. Every day you are alive again. And it's great to wake up in the morning and say, here's another day I get to be alive. So this is exciting. So tell us a little bit more tell us first, how did you get started in this? How did you become an entrepreneur? Did you just wake up one day and say, I want to start a business? Or
no, that's a good question. No, I did not. I went to college, and then after college, I was still trying to figure out what I want to do. But what led is, and I thought, let me go into sales. And that was my calling. I was in sales for 30 years. So worked with some businesses, but also kind of an entrepreneur because some of them would be independent contractor. So I was good at it. I could sell you this pen. So I love sales. It came easy to me because I'm people oriented. And if I believe in the product, I'm going to sell it. And if I don't, I'm not going to work for the company. But that's how it worked out. And then the last year I was working was probably about 17 years ago. I was making really good money, had no intention on leaving whatsoever, but God got a hold of me and told me, nope, this is what you're going to do. And so I left and I became a coach right then and there. I mean, immediately got certified and started coaching because I looked back on all the things that I had done, even though I was good in sales and was in sales for a long time. But even growing up for my family of 9, everybody always came to me and said, because I'm the middle child. So the middle child everybody comes to. So I'm the one that organizes, that gets things done and makes things happen. But people would always ask me, how do you do this? And how do you do this? And so it always ended up being that I was coaching before coaching was even a name, or people got paid. And so I'm thinking, okay, this is great. So I just went right into it. It became easy. Don't get me wrong, leaving a job of high figure income to a coach. Yeah, there was about 6 months I didn't make any money, but after that, then the money started coming. But the key thing is that I love helping people figure out their purpose, their why, and helping them to figure out, what their personality and behavior and lead it into their why and their purpose. And I started out as a life coach, and I did that for 7 years and I loved it, but it was getting a little bit more into counseling. And so, but then hear me out. People were asking me, how are you growing your business after all those years of struggling, figuring it out? How are you getting clients every week? What are you doing different? Then my coaches used to always say, if people ask you, pivot. So that's when I became a coach and helping people grow their business now.
Yeah, that's awesome, because that's one of the questions I hear all the time is, whether I'm on Facebook, Instagram, wherever I'm at, is how do we get the customers? And not just how do we get customers, because anybody can get customers. How do I get customers for what I do? Customers that will pay for what I can provide for them. And we are providing for them something, whether it's something we've learned. One of the things I give in my talks is each of us have lived our own life. We have unique experiences. We've made choices. We've lived with choices other people have made, but it's our life and our experience. And we draw on that to give to others, which makes everyone unique and everyone valuable because of that. So it's great that you were specifically talking about that, getting customers that the entrepreneur needs for their business. So how do you decide on that part?
The first thing is you need to be very clear, first of all, on who you serve, which you could say avatar or ideal client. So getting very clear on that. And so I have them fill out some assessments. I have a questionnaire on really what inspires you, what gets you up in the morning, who are the people that you like to work with, and then what are the things that you are fulfilling when people ask you questions that people say that you're good at. Sometimes they're like, well, I don't know. Why don't you ask 10 friends and ask, what are 3 things that describes me, or what do you see in me of a good character trait? And they're like, oh, I didn't know that. Like solve a problem or create or build or whatever that might be. That's a good indication. So really getting clear on who you serve. And then with all the assessments and all the assessments, it's 2 assessments, and figuring out how you're wired and your personality. Now let's figure out how you want to serve them. I'll give you an example. I had one person says, she said, I did a membership, and she goes, it was going great. But everybody was drawing on me and they were like asking questions and they just sucked the life out of me. And I go, because that's not your personality. That's you'd be better off one-on-one, or you'd be better off with maybe 10 in a group coaching, So really narrowing that in to find out what is good for you, because in the long run, you don't want to start all over and do things. You want to start from the scratch. What works for you? And it's what's your strengths, what motivates you, what gets you up in the morning, what's like I could do this for the rest of my life free. That's how much I love it. Literally, I could do it for the rest of my life. Nobody has to pay me anything. And that's when that's your calling.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. And I know a lot of people who do that now, and it's like, but I do need to get paid. So let's do a little bit of a pivot there. Yeah.
Yes. So let me share that. So you had said, so that's you have to get clear on that, because once you get clear on that, now it's how you strategically put your post out, how you put your writings, your copy. I call it copyright, because you're always going to do that hook at the beginning of your post to get people active, because your hook is way more important than what you have in the post, because you want to draw people into it. And so it's like a copyright messaging, but you have to know who you serve and how you serve them before you do the messaging. So that would be one area. Is I get a lot of clients just from my Facebook post. Cool. And then another way is having a Facebook group, because when you have a Facebook group, that is your avatar. So you share lots of good information, and they get to know you, like you, and trust you. And once they do, and you're constantly bringing value, you offer something like $97. They purchase it. Then one time you might offer, because one of my packages is high ticket. And so when I offer that, they're like, oh, no brainer. You've helped me so much. You've given me this. I took one of your 97 courses, and then they do it. So those are two of the tips right there on how to get clients. Besides the third one, and that would be my last one to give to you, is a lead magnet. A lead magnet is have a lead magnet, because you're getting your clients to get to know you, like you, and trust you, and you're giving value in that lead magnet. And then you put them on your email list. You love them more, and that leads to when you offer something, they're ready to buy.
That's awesome, because a lot of people say, well, I post and post and post on Facebook, but nothing ever happens. And it's like, I'm posting all the content and it's good, but I think part of it is from what I understand, you said there's 3 steps. You've got your hook, you've got your contact, and then you've got your call to action. And I know I've posted a lot of stuff and I don't put a call to action, which is bad on me, but some stuff I just want to put out there.
Right. And that's the key thing is it's a system. And so I teach my clients a formula of what you put on Facebook. You don't just put like, hey, I'm eating here, I'm out to eat here, or, hey, this is how you get clients. And there's got to be a strategy and a formula that works. And not that you have to obey it step by step, but it's a system that you tweak it to your personality. But it's a no-brainer, because it's like I was always consistent, and I post 3 times a week. I was either a post or live. Most of my stuff is a post, and my stories is live, but it's the system and the formula that makes the game changer. Because if you'll go to my Facebook, Laura White, you'll see that I have 75, 100 and more people that respond, and I'm getting back with them, and they're signing up or buying something from me.
Yeah. So that's it. You've got to stay intentionally involved with them too. You don't just post it out there and then just forget about it and go on to the next thing. You got to kind of take care of it. It's like you gave birth to this baby. Now you got to raise it up and make it grow for you. Put it to work.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do you only work with Facebook? Do you work with Instagram or Twitter or any of the others?
Yeah. And yes. And I want to make sure that I'm telling people I'm not a social media person. I am a business coach that's just one of the ways on how to build your business and get things. But yes, everything that you can do on Facebook, you can do on Instagram, and you can actually do the same post on LinkedIn. But, sometimes you might change it up a little bit, but yes, you can still put the post everywhere, but it's using the social media. It's a software that I have that's pretty simple. Are you getting out there networking? There's a whole bunch of different things that I add to the group and help people, whether I do one-on-one or they enter my Inner Circle Growth Academy, where I coach them there. So
what about the logarithms? I know that sometimes they're changing. It's like Instagram is in a change right now. They used to be all about pictures, which is why I got onto Instagram, because I took a lot of photos. It gave me a venue to post my photos, to share with people what I was taking pictures of, because they were nice pictures and that kind of thing. But now they're kind of going away from that. So how do you deal with the algorithms changing and how the algorithms are different? I hear TikTok. I haven't ever done anything with TikTok, but I hear it's changing like crazy now. And so how do you keep up with all of that? I mean, it would just kind of,
Okay. So here's the key thing. One is the algorithms always changing, because that's just who they are. So they want to mess with your brain. So what I do personally is I have a personal friend and coach. And so I'll hire her, or we'll jump a call. Hey, what's the new thing, to save me from reading all that? But you got to stay up on it. And it does change. I know that one thing that I actually heard this morning is Instagram doesn't like square pictures. They don't mind pictures, but they don't like square pictures. So when you make something or build it in Canva, you don't do the square picture. And you don't do the landscaping. There's a whole bunch of other different ways you can do that, but it's important. Now, the reason I use my personal Facebook for my business, but you can't use links. You cannot use links, because when you do,
comments.
the algorithm won't push your post out. So there's a strategy that I use that you don't put your links there. and that will boost your picture out. So
Right.
there's always changing, but you got to be on. It's part of my job, so I'm constantly reading
That's
or
awesome.
asking my coach, okay, what's the new thing in the last week?
And I love it. I love that you have a coach. I keep hearing that coaches have coaches,
Yes.
because you got to keep learning. You got to keep knowing what's out there. You know, um, you know, Michael Jordan talks about how there's so many baskets that he missed, so many things he didn't do right.
Yeah.
But, at times he got a coach to say, hey, point your toe this way, bring your elbow in, do something this way. You need somebody just kind of guide you along and look from the outside and say, just do this little tweak here. And a lot of times it's not a whole lot, it's just a little thing that you can do.
Yeah, I always have a coach, and sometimes I'll have two coaches. Like I might have one, that helps me with some of the little things with the social media, but then I also have a business coach to always help me take my business to the next level, because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And you don't know you have blind spots, but coaches can always, a good coach ask good questions, and they always know blind spots.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Well,
Yeah.
let's see. I did have some questions that came in. Okay, so you have written a book. That's right. It's called
Yes.
The Prosperous Leader, Walking in the Wisdom of God. Oh, there it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Tell
Yeah.
us about the book.
Oh my gosh, it's so exciting how this all happened. But what it is, it's a 30-day devotion for the prosperous leader walking in the wisdom of God. God's really blessed me financially. It's blessed me in my business and everything. And I just wanted to give back. And I wrote this book because with the leader, you always want to pour into you, and
Mm-hmm.
you always want to grow, and you always want to work on your personal development. So this is a 30-day where you're reading every day into you. So what I did is I picked
Oh,
a
nice.
scripture and that had to do with being how to be prosperous. And in that scripture, I wrote what it meant as a leader. So taking the scripture and putting it into the understanding of leadership. And then at the end, you say a prayer to yourself. So you're encouraging yourself. But on the other page, it's an application. So every page I ask something different. It's not the same. Like I might say, well, how did that speak to you? What did you learn from that? What's your takeaway? And you're writing it down because there's one thing to absorb, but until you write it down and
Yeah.
share, what you learned, it will stay with you a lot longer. So I just want to encourage leaders that, we can't do life on our own. And so this is what I believe, that I try to do it all on my own. But one of the things that pivoted me into or transformed my business in that is I'm like, I'm not leaning on my own self anymore. I'm leaning on God, and He helped and guided me and gave me the wisdom and how to grow my business and for it to be successful. So I'm just encouraging every leader to say, we're always leading other people, but we need someone to lead us. And so it's just an inspiration.
Yeah, definitely. That's just amazing. And to kind of work that backwards, one thing I've learned I took just a couple of day course with John Maxwell, and it's leaders teach other people to be leaders, and they're with them, then they teach them how to go out and teach another leader. So you've kind of got three leaders or coaches there going on before you let them go out and spread their wings and do something like that. But you've always got somebody there, like you're saying. Of course, with God, we've got the best coach and leader right there.
Right.
Everything's there. We just need to do it. I love it that you wrote a devotional about it, though. That's great, because we forget to take care of ourselves. We
Yes,
forget to feed into ourselves, and it's so important that we do that. So important.
it
So where
is.
can they
It
get
is.
your book?
Yes, I always want to give what you had just talked. I would love what John Maxwell says. Leaders who are effective are leaders who are disciplined in their daily lives. And it's true. We need to do that. You can
Yeah.
get the book through Amazon right now. It's Amazon.
Okay.
And it's, it hit #1 new release. And so I'm excited about it. But you can order it on
Nice.
Amazon, and it's right there for you to order. And if you do read it, I would love for you to give me a feedback and a review afterwards. That would be
Oh,
awesome. 'Cause I always want
definitely.
to know. Yeah, because I've got more
Definitely.
books in store for me.
Nice. Nice. We love that. Love that. Yeah. So this is great. So let's see. You have your web pages are empowered leaders dot.
Yeah. So in
Yeah, so tell me about those.
yes. So I have a Facebook group that I put now. This one particular is just for women. And so I
Okay.
help empowering women, entrepreneurs, and really pour into them. And I'm always giving tips and trades. And I also have trainings each week, like, teachings. And then I also
Nice.
have a network connection where we're exchanging businesses, we're referring people, we're learning tools, tips, and trades every Friday. So it's empowering women on extraordinary women entrepreneurs. That's the name of my Facebook group, Extraordinary Women Entrepreneurs. Or you can reach me on my website at lifecoachlaurawhite.com. And I just kept it there because that's what I've had for a long time. So I do life and business, but it's lifecoachlaurawhite.com.
Okay, good. I actually did not put that in the description, so I will add that one too there.
Yeah.
I do have the Facebook and the Empowered Leaders. 5 tips to transform. I like that. Yeah, so we've got 5 minutes yet, so let's have a little bit of conversation. So tell us about you. Aside from your business, who is Laura?
Oh my goodness. I just, because it was growing up in a big family and there was some hard times and stuff. I look at life like the glass is half full, not half empty. So I just love life. I love relationships. I get a satisfaction when I meet a new friend and I made a difference in someone's life. That's just who I am. I am selling my house in Tampa. I've lived here my whole life. I am moving up north to Georgia. My husband is up there right now building our dream home. Well, actually he's here, but we're going back and forth. And so building our dream home. So right now I'm living life, enjoying it, and, building my business. But it's, when you're an entrepreneur, you can take time off. So yes, I'm helping men and women, but I'm also enjoying life and having fun.
Well, and that's the important part. You've got to do it. You can't just be going for the business, because you miss out on so much if you do that.
Yeah. And if you ask anybody on their deathbed, what could you have changed? I wish I would have spent more time with my friends and family. Really.
Yeah.
So you have to have a healthy balance. And what does that look like? Because there's no such thing as a balance, like I need coaching on balance, but it's really prioritizing what's important. And family, non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. So whatever that looks like for you, breakfast every morning with the family, or I stop at 6 or 7 at night, whatever that is, you make it non-negotiable. Sundays, non-negotiable, no phones, no nothing, no work. That's the day of rest.
Yep. And it is, I've been doing that, by 1 o'clock on Saturday. Well, it's not really, I start at 1 o'clock on Friday, and then by 7 o'clock on Sunday, then people can get a hold of me again. And I might have a meeting or two on Saturday, no big deal, but I put it away. And then Monday comes like, wow, I got all these notices for Friday and everything. And it's like, but everything works out good. It's not anything that's really an emergency. You can always kind of look at your messages once in a while, but don't get caught up in them.
I know.
You got to take that time. And I was really frustrated. I had talked to a coach of mine and said, what do I do? I'm getting all these messages. I need time. I get them, this day and on the weekend and when we're doing stuff. And I just feel so guilty that I'm not right on top of it and answering. And they go, it's okay, because you have a life. Everybody understands everybody else has a life, and you need to take care of that. So what you can do is take note of the messages and maybe write, who it was and whatnot. And then come that time Sunday night or Monday morning, you go through the notes that you took, get a hold of them first, and then go on to the others. And I thought, oh, that sounds simple enough, and it's worked. It's worked really well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And before we run out of time, I'm all about giving back. So I do have a lead magnet that's free. Attract your ideal clients by making, and I put it in the chat too, so you have that, but attract your ideal client by making these simple tweaks to your Facebook profile. So it's really discovering 5 simple changes that you can do right now to your Facebook that will attract your ideal client, and that you could be a great leader and an influencer. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. I made a PDF and I also made a video, so you have access to both. Some people they learn faster and do better if they have the PDF, and some prefer the video. So I hope you enjoy it, but it's my gift to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So you have been listening to Alive to Roar. Your podcast host, L.S. Kirkpatrick, Thank you for listening in, and you can find my books on Amazon.com. Vella on Amazon if you want to join me in writing a book. Yes, you, the reader, get to choose where and how the story goes on Kindle Vella Library by Amazon, titled Let's Write a Story Together. You can also connect with me via my two websites, writers2readers.com. That's writers, WRITERS, the number 2, readers, READERS.com, or www.lskirkpatrick.com. That's the letter L and the letter S, and kirkpatrick.com. And you can also find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. So thank you for being uniquely you, for joining me and Laura today on A Life to Roar. And we'll see you next Tuesday. And thank you, Laura. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.